Hey, all you spooky eagles, you're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show coming up with some information about Cindy Lin recalling a Vietnam funeral tradition for his fallen comrade. And Jaterica Wilson reporting on breast cancer awareness. Don't touch that dial because the Lost Music Festival will share some things that you don't want to miss. You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Southern Miss Radio is home to Don Rodney Radio's Rhythm and Blues Show.
WUSM, Southern Miss Radio, 88.5, Don Rodney Radio's Rhythm and Blues Show. Another summertime song. I love this.
Don Rodney Radio spotlights the composers and performers of Mississippi Delta blues, such as Charlie Patton, Mississippi John Hurt, Robert Johnson, and more. Here on Southern Miss Radio, Sundays from noon until 2.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on for some USM campus news. USM first Mississippi University to install a Narcan overdose emergency kits inside residence halls. The University of Southern Mississippi has recently adapted an additional safety precaution to their residence halls on the Hattiesburg campus. Overdose emergency kits have been implemented, referenced as Narcan, with the medicine to rapidly reverse an opioid overdose. With this new implementation of change, the University of Southern Mississippi has become the first state institution of higher learning university to implement this kit, with instructions and a CPR mask available. This addition was made possible with the incredible help of a $43,000 grant from the Jimmy A. Payne Foundation. This is an amazing opportunity for the university to be able to take proper care of their students as well as provide additional moments of care in dire situations. In Hattiesburg news, the Pocket Museum was vandalized yet again. It's incredibly frustrating and disappointing to hear that the downtown Hattiesburg Pocket Museum has been vandalized. Several cameras have captured the event, leading to believe that the crew ripping up parts of the exhibit were intoxicated. With the disappointment resonating within the community of Hattiesburg, the museum organizers are asking for them to come forward now before they put up wanted posters to the public. In Mississippi news, Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top announced joint show at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum. You've heard that right. Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top will be stopping by Biloxi for their The Sharp Dressed Simple Man tour. This stop will be held at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum on Thursday, April 4th, 2024. Also, American rock band Black Stone Cherry will be the opener. So if you're interested in that, make sure you mark those calendars and check it out. In national news, authorities investigating online threats of violence against Jewish students at Cornell University. President Martha E. Pollock revealed this statement. Earlier today, a series of horrendous anti-Semitic messages threatening violence to our Jewish community and specifically naming 104 West, the home of the Center for Jewish Living, was posted on a website unaffiliated with Cornell. This Sunday, online messages appeared with several violent threats to shoot Jewish students at the mentioned building, with additional messages encouraging others to harm Jews on their behalf. We at Southern Miss Today and Southern Miss Radio express our worries and care to these students, and we hope that Cornell will continue to protect their students and ensure their student body's safety and security. Stay safe. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on for your sports. We've got some announcements from our Southern Miss Athletics. Men's basketball single game are now available for purchase. To secure your chance to see the Eagles defend their home court, check those student emails. Attention Southern Miss students. Student claims are now live for the next home football game versus ULM at November 4th at 3 o'clock p.m. Claims will open each Monday before the next home game. To keep up with all the Golden Eagle sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on for your weather. If you haven't checked the weather, you most likely felt it this morning. Our highs are in the high 50s with our lows in the mid 30s. You heard that correctly, 30s. I have already heard several students yesterday beginning to notice the slight change in temperature, some drifting closer towards the buildings. So make sure you dress warm and enjoy some hot food and beverages. And if you're interested in dressing as Dracula today, maybe think about wearing a coat. You don't want to get frostbite. Up next, we have Sidney Lin remembering in Vietnam a funeral tradition that was held for his fallen comrade. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. During the Vietnam War, Sidney Land worked as an advisor to several South Vietnamese boat crews. He remembers attending a traditional funeral for a fallen comrade.
One of the boat captains was killed, and I just said to the Vietnamese commanding officer, I'd like to go to his funeral. And we went to Saigon in the captain's jeep, and we pulled up in front of the temple just as the ceremonies were over, and sat in the jeep in the front of it, and a big stake truck with dragons, one thing and another on the side, and the mourning color is white in Vietnam, so the mourners were in white. And a fella in black pajamas came over to me and escorted me over to the grave. I didn't know who he was, but I suspected it was this guy's father, and it was. And then they brought the casket over, and at that time, most that I know about it was explained to me afterwards. And then we sat around, and they had sandwiches and Cokes and beer, and this was the last meal with the sailor that was killed.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was Sidney Lin. Coming up, we've got a special guest that you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Put a frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in cool water and slowly heat it up, that frog will boil. As veterans, we tell ourselves the lie that we can handle anything. We let the water boil. You are not a frog. If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to representatives of the Lost Music Festival, Bryce Murray and our very own Matthew Lee. Hey, how are the both of you doing?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Just a bit tired, but that's okay.
I definitely relate to that. I feel
Yeah.
like I could crash at any second.
Mm-hmm.
But for anyone who doesn't know the both of you, can you both tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah, I'll go first. I am Bryce Murray. I'm from Minnesota originally, and I'm a sound recording arts major down here at USM. Last year, Wes and friends put on the music festival, and we wanted to do something like it.
Right.
And yeah, that's a bit about me. Sorry if I'm a little dry today. I'm just yesterday was a long day with the fundraiser.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm Matthew Lee. I'm a sound and recording major also, and this is our senior project. And we decided to have a instead of doing something kind of boring and just not in our realm of enjoyment.
Yeah.
We decided to have a party basically and do it for charity. So that's what's going on November 10th. And like Bryce said, yesterday was a long day. Zach Koch played for us at Glory Bound, and he absolutely killed it.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
He was so good.
Uh-huh.
And, I kind of wish I was doing more things because I would have him involved more.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird. You sit next to somebody in class for a year and a half, and you never know that they are this monster on guitar and vocal, and then they start playing, and it's like, oh, man, we should have brought a camera.
Mhm.
Dang,
We had a couple out there, actually. Some of the people from Digital Nest Media had their cameras out there, and they took plenty of pictures.
Oh, I mean, like a video.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. I know that I've heard a lot of things about it, both from Matthew, and I really wanted to attend, and then I got this last minute rehearsal, and I looked at it, and I went like, I might just skip it. I might just skip the rehearsal, but like the second I got there, all this commotion. But I'm very glad for any of the Eagles that were able to tune in and listen to that and just get a little taste of the Hub City Lost Music Festival. And speaking of which, what exactly is that? I know that you mentioned that this was done last year, but what is that regarding both of your shoes and your perspectives?
Yeah, so I am managing all of it. So I
Right.
do all of the logistics, all of the branding, all of the reaching out to businesses
Right.
interested, a lot of the layout, reaching out to vendors, whether it be food vendors or art vendors.
Right.
And then Matt, you can kind of tell them about what you handle.
Well, I've been handling mostly preparing for the actual live performance of it.
Right.
And, buying some equipment that the school doesn't have and rounding up what equipment that the school does have that we can use and making sure it works, of course. And, I've been in contact with some of the things that we need. Like, there's stuff for these festivals that you have to have, like porta potties
Right.
and insurance and dealing with the IRS and police officers. And, you have to have security there. So, there's always one more thing to do. And it's like, it seems like there's never enough time, but we're getting close.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
it's going to go down one way or the other. We are in desperate need of sponsorship, though. Like, we've been trying for the past 6 to 8 months or so to get sponsors for this thing, and it's just the economy, I guess, is in a rough shape, and nobody's willing to come off much money,
Right.
and it's been very tight financially.
Right.
So anybody listening out there that's willing to fund something for a good cause, this is for the animal shelter, and they always need an influx of cash to keep these animals that they're taking care of alive.
Right.
Yeah, especially recently, I saw something about someone stole their sign, like the sign they had out front. That,
Really?
Like let you know that Southern Pines Animal Shelter was there. I saw the security cam footage, but somebody apparently stole their sign. So yeah,
Wow.
if you'd like to donate as well to them, like they don't have a sign out front. Like,
Right.
Yeah. So, and then we didn't really touch on what the festival was. I realized I just kind of jumped to the roles, but the festival is a charity festival on behalf of Southern Pines Animal Shelter,
Right.
and so all of the money that we make will go towards them.
Right.
And it's, again, we said it's our student project. It's our senior project, I should say.
Right.
And so both of us have been teaming up on it and getting vendors and sponsors and bands. We have 5 bands playing. The 5 bands are Mabry Mansfield from Groove House.
Right.
We have Rosemary Pinella and her band. Next up is Mazamoon, and then the Mississippi Shakedown, and finally High Five, which is a band of some of the professors here at USM and a few other guys that are just great at what they do.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be. Oh yeah, and of course it's November 10th, not this Friday, but next Friday,
Right.
from 5 to about 10 o'clock p.m.
Right.
And so it'll be the day before Veterans Day, so hopefully a lot of people will be out of class and off of work. and able to come to it. Hopefully the weather holds up too. It's supposed to warm up a bit next week.
Right.
For now, so we're
Hopefully.
watching that weather
Yeah,
forecast.
fingers
so.
crossed, because I can only imagine how anyone that would be like attending this event would have to show up in like this winter garb and
Oh,
all
yeah.
this stuff, and having the musicians playing and also looking over and going like, it's freezing out
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah,
But, or were you gonna say something?
Oh yeah, that's why we held it a little bit earlier than
Right.
last
Yeah.
year. It was a little bit later in the month, so we figured a couple weeks earlier in the month maybe it'll be a little bit better weather.
Right.
As long as it's a little cooler than it is right now and it doesn't rain, I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
I mean, a little warmer than it is right,
Right.
now.
Right.
Yeah, look,
Right.
Sorry.
I don't know where you're going with that.
Bryce from Minnesota is like, no, no, you don't want cooler.
So we did get to mention that there will be like food, and there will be
Yeah.
musicians that are going to be performing for anyone that's going to be listening in, and we do also have the special guests with the animal shelter, which we'll cover that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But just to understand from both of your perspectives with the roles that you have, but also just as enjoyers of this craft, what are you two most looking forward to with this event?
The music, man. If last night was a preview of what's to come for for our show, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Last night was just super cool. I mean, just to have a local musician like Zach come out, not knowing like how just amazing of a musician he is.
Right.
Just being able to come out and just have, fellowship with people around you. Like a lot of people that I know came out and were able to just kind of sit and talk and
Right.
have a couple beers. It was amazing. It was just so much fun. So
Right.
I'm super excited for the actual festival because we'll have
Yeah.
plenty of bands. It'll go on longer, and hopefully it won't be as cold either.
Yeah.
I wish we had Zach playing. We were originally going to have him and his band come, but their lead singer is going to be in Tennessee, so they weren't able to come, sadly. But I was really, really glad that we were able to at least get him in on the fundraiser because it
Yeah.
worked out great.
Yeah, he's shredded.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I was blown away.
Right.
yeah.
Well, I think I remembered that the last time that we talked about it, that you were hoping that the Lost Music Festival wouldn't just be something that like died after this and would be picked up by another student. So hopefully during that, they're able to come out and they're able to do at least the next one. And maybe you guys will be willing, or you guys will have the time, is better stated, to be able to listen in and see all that hard work you guys
Yeah.
have given pay off.
Yeah.
So we did mention about the Southern Pines Animal Shelter, and we already talked that a lot of these proceeds are going to this organization. But I've also heard that you can actually adopt a furry friend while you're there, or at least there'll be furry friends there to actually participate.
Oh yeah.
Can you tell us anything about that?
Yeah, so Danny Snell and Sarah Kroc, we've been back and forth with them. They're kind of the people who we've been reaching out to and talking to with the festival in Southern Pines.
Right.
But yeah, they mentioned that they will have kittens and puppies out there at a booth up for adoption, or if you
Wow.
just want to come, and
Yeah.
play with puppies or kittens. Because I mean, who
Right.
doesn't for free?
Right.
Like, it's way better than you don't have to take it home and worry about it. But
Right.
we're hoping that we could get some good adoptions out there as well, because they've got some precious things coming out there with them. So,
Right.
yeah, you'll have plenty of time. They'll be there about all day until a bit after dark, because it gets a little difficult after dark because you don't want to keep the puppies or kittens out too late.
Right.
They have a bedtime as well. So, yeah.
Well, I know that we covered something closer towards the beginning of our conversation, and it's about how you guys have been doing all this work, and you guys have also been juggling your own personal jobs, your own personal lives, and also being students here. That one of the things that's lacking a lot is the financial help. So
Oh, yeah.
anyone that is listening, what can they do to help out financially with these sponsorships?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not able to give money, just kind of off like the baseline level, we would
Right.
love for people to bring like lawn chairs or something like
Right.
that for people to sit in, depending on how hot or cold it is. We would love like if somebody were able to donate a heater or bring one or something
Right.
like that, one of the propane heaters or something like that. If it gets real cold, what were some other things, Matt, that we had on the donations list for just things that people could bring?
Right.
Well, bring themselves really to the
Yeah.
event.
Yeah.
Like all the beverages served at the event, will be going towards the cost of it. That's aside from this taking many man hours, the cost of this thing, for students to continue to do this, I think it's really going to take a team,
Right.
Yeah.
like larger than, we started off as 3 and ended up as 2, but this should have been something for 5 people,
Right.
with 3 people just doing sponsorships,
Yeah.
because it's raising money. If you ask anybody that's ever done it, is the most difficult thing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we've got some, donations from companies as far as like product, like American Graphics, gave us a great sponsorship for $200 towards our shirts, which is going to be a huge help.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and if you want to buy a shirt as well, we've ended the pre-orders, so you'll have to come out to the festival to get one, but they're super cool. We had
Right.
the help of a graphic designer, Spencer Hollingsworth, he's super good. I mean, I'm super excited about the t-shirts.
Right.
The sizes go from small all the way up to triple extra large. We may have a couple quadruple extra larges.
Okay.
We may have a couple extras if no one comes out to get those, and they're only $20, or no, at the festival they'll be $25.
Right.
But they're a nice like butter yellow and comfort colors. They look great. I'm super excited about them.
Right.
Mhm.
And I think we mentioned this during the first meeting, but can't people also get the opportunity to set up booths at the event, or is that now like past?
Yeah,
It's kind of that's really over now. We've
Okay.
gotten enough people, thankfully, now, and it's just with such a time crunch being, the next 2 weeks, we've got a lot of planning and stuff like that, and we're starting to get some of the vendors slotted in for
Right.
where they're going to be in the festival, and so just because of the time restriction now, we're not really accepting vendors anymore.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, awesome. And I know that we are almost out of time, but there is one thing that I think that anyone that's listening would really appreciate. Is there any type of social media that our listeners can follow or look at to get updates on the event or any type of announcements?
Oh yeah. Our Instagram, real quick, is just Hub City Lost Music. You can find us on Instagram with that. We also have a website. I think it is. Our website is hubcitylost.wordpress.com. Our Facebook is Hub City's Lost Music Fest, and it has a lot of the event information. And then if you want to reach out to Southern Pines as well, they can direct us right towards you. We also have a GoFundMe up if anyone is also looking to donate. And it doesn't matter how small or how big the donation is, because we're taking any kinds of donations.
At
But
this
we also
point,
have a
pocket change
GoFundMe.
would be great.
Yes, yes.
Right.
I mean, if you got a stash of quarters or something, send it our way. But we also have the GoFundMe, which the links to that are both on our Instagram and our Facebook. And then lastly, I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to some specific people just to thank them so much.
Right.
Because Glory Bound, I mean, I want to thank them a ton because they helped so much with the fundraiser they did for us last night.
Right.
And I'm so glad we were able to do that, especially having Zach come out and a lot of the other people come out as well, just to enjoy it all.
Right.
And then Coke, especially because they're donating a truck and all of the drinks that we'll be selling, and so
Right.
that helps a whole lot. Stokes as well. Stokes Distributing Company is also donating a truck, and they're giving us a nice deal on kegs as well.
Right.
So we'll have plenty of beer if anybody wants any. Fuzzies, thank you to them for donating to us. T-Bones as well.
Right.
They're both donating. Adventures Pub and Spirits on the coast is donating. Again, American Graphics once was mentioned, but thank you again to them for donating some money or funds towards the T-shirts. And thanks, Zach Koch, for playing. I mean, I know
Right.
we've said it a million times, but the guy is so humble, so we can't give him enough praise. But thank you again so much for him to coming out last night.
Well, thank you so much, Lost Music Festival, for coming on today and providing a voice for our Eagles. Make sure to head on down to Town Square Park in downtown Hattiesburg Friday, November 10th from 5 to 9 p.m. And make sure to check an eye out for those Hub City Lost Music on Instagram, Hub City Lost Music Fest on Facebook, hubcitylost.wordpress.com. And you can also check out their GoFundMe on their Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, you bet.
Coming up, we've got Jaterica Wilson reporting on breast cancer awareness. Check it out.
Breast cancer awareness is celebrated in the month of October of each year. and every survivor's story is different.
It's different. I'm different, but I feel great. I went through all my treatments and everything, and I'm thinking, you know, oh wow, I'm gonna die or something like that. But God spared my life, and now I can tell other women, you can do it. You can beat this.
Most people who have survived breast cancer encourage others to get seen about as quick as possible.
Even if you're scared, go, because it's a silent killer. You won't even know it's happening. A lot of people have went and just for a regular mammogram and discovered they had breast cancer. So it's very important that you go.
It is very important for women to get their mammograms starting at age 40 annually. If you have a history of family history of breast cancer or a genetic disorder, they can start at 35 and then annually.
As you can see, people have survived breast cancer and it is treatable, but it's also important to know that you need to catch it while it's early. Breast cancer is more common than you think. It can happen to anyone at any time, and that's why it's so important that women go get checked regularly to make sure that they don't have it. And it's okay to be afraid to go to the doctor, but don't let that stop you. And especially if you're like me with a history of breast cancer in your family, please go get checked regularly.
Thank you, Chaterica, and thank you for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to our audio engineer, Matthew Lee, and Alina Pitletsky, our video producer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Huey Turlich, as well as our executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard, our program director, Shania Williams, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Parker. Stay golden, Eagles, and of course, Happy Halloween.